Becoming a mother is a life event that is mostly met with joy, but the transition into motherhood is marred by stereotypes that could weaken the resolve of any strong woman until they decide to challenge them. That is something that Amina Jasho from Nairobi, Kenya started to do. Amina knows too well the stereotypes mothers face. Her transition to motherhood showed her firsthand.
So my transition into motherhood was being accepted into spaces where previously I wasn't. When I became a mother, things changed. And I got that respect of ensuring that, hey, okay, now we can hear from her because she's become like a grown-up.
Such labels are what Amina Jasho is fighting. Motherhood in Kenya, as in many parts of African societies, is seen as a duty at the expense of your personal needs. Once a woman becomes a mother, society applies different rules on her. Suddenly, she's judged harshly when she dares have too much fun, or if she becomes a single mother, or if she is queer. In fact, a study in Kenya's coastal region showed that 34% of the men believed that a woman who uses contraception is bound to be promiscuous. Amina is no stranger to the effects of such stereotypes.
I would say the biggest one is episiotomies. And an episiotomy is when the doctor cuts you so that to make way for the baby to come out. The baby wasn't big, was 3.03, and there was no need for him to do that. But at the time, I didn't know to question why. When I asked him, he said, these are just some of the things that I've done.
And one of the things that Amina has done since she healed is to found the digital platform Unmothering the Woman. It has evolved to hybrid events where Kenyan women meet to talk about breaking the motherhood stereotypes.
I have been all of these mothers. I have been the divorced mother. I have been the not being able to breastfeed mother. I have been, partner of domestic violence mother. I have, had my mother go to prison. Who would you like to speak to? Who's your demographic? My demographic is me.
Jacqueline Achieng is one of the women within the Unmothering the Woman movement. She had her first child at 35, and she too has faced stereotypes.
There are people I would interact with, especially in the workplace. And that time, I used to go to a certain church that they were very strong in their faith, and they would look at me like, why would you choose career in this life over motherhood and family life?
She says being a part of the community has become so important because now she doesn't feel alone in her struggle.
Women need such safe spaces. Once you take on this role of wife, mother, you lose your individuality. So you are given that space to be an individual. Yes, we know you have your child, we know you love them, but you also have these feelings that you need to process.
Mothers are expected to find their joy in their families and their children. So what happens when women like Jacqueline and Amina find their joy in other activities outside of motherhood? Is guilt inevitable when mothers choose themselves?
Situations where I've had to leave my child for, say, those selfish things, you feel like, probably I'm a bad mother.
Of course, there's guilt. You have to remove yourself from the yoke of mom guilt. 100%.
Jacqueline Achieng is one among thousands of women that Amina has impacted on the Facebook page Unmothering the Woman. And their desire is simple. They want to change how motherhood is seen in the Kenyan society and at large. Amina and her group want to continue being multifaceted and not pinned to only one version of how a mother should be.